Hey there, Ottawa. My name is Corbett, and my show here at the Fringe this year is Morningstar.
And what is Morningstar about?
So, Morningstar is a retelling of the story of the fall of Lucifer. So, when the audience arrives, they are the blessed. They are new arrivals in the land of the dead, and they have been sent down to hell first before they get to go to heaven, and it's their job to judge Lucifer. It's all part of his punishment. So Lucifer is essentially caught in this loop, this endless loop where he is punished by being constantly subjected to the judgment of the dead. But he's had about enough of it, and he's trying to convince the dead that it wasn't his fault, and that really, ultimately, he was acting out of love, that he wasn't a rebel, that he was simply given an impossible choice. It's also a bit of a tragedy for not just for Lucifer, but also for all the characters involved, for God, humanity, and the angels. So that is essentially the story. If you want to know more, you're gonna have to come see the show.
Excellent. And what was the development process like for the show? Where did it come from? You're the writer, correct?
Well, I am the writer, yes. So it started as a final project in my last year of theatre school. I recently graduated from Ottawa Theatre School. And in our final year, we were given the chance to write a 30-minute solo piece about any subject we wanted. And I decided that I wanted to write about evil. And the reason this came about was because of this one idea I was taught in theatre school, which was that no evil character should be played as if they are evil. They should be played as if they are heroes. Always play villains as heroes. I thought that was so fascinating, because it's true that people don't ever think of themselves as evil. Like, even if you take the most evil people from history, they still probably believe that they were working for the greater good. So it's a dangerous idea, this notion of the greater good. So I became very fascinated with that, and I wrote this 30-minute solo piece that ended up being about the devil and the devil trying to argue his case. And it was so well received by my classmates and my teachers that they said that I should take it to Fringe. So over this past winter, I revisited it, completely reworked it, revamped it, because originally it was just a school piece. And turned it into a full-length, hour-long, one-woman show. So that was the development process, and a lot of hair tearing out and things like that.
Always part of the development.
Always
process.
part of the process.
All right, so I hear there's quite a makeup process for this show.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
So the makeup is very important to the show. It's very symbolic, because Lucifer argues that this isn't what he looks like, and this is definitely not what he looks like, but the way he appears to the audience, he says it's not how he looks, but it's how we understand him. That we couldn't possibly understand what he actually is, so he has to appear in a form that we would understand. So he looks human, but wrong. For one thing, he's androgynous. He has no gender. I know I say he, but he has no gender. He's human-shaped, but he's white. His skin is white, his eyes are white, his hair is white. Highlighted with blue. He actually is covered in wounds. He has two big scars on his back where his wings were ripped off of him, which is symbolic of him losing his power as an angel. And you can actually still see there's like bits of blood on my fingers. It doesn't wash off easily, all this makeup. Here he has wounds on his fingers. He's covered in bruises, and it's all symbolic of how he is ravaged since he fell, that he no longer has power. He's a very pitiful angel, this creature. Very pitiful creature. And it's all symbolic of how he was a beautiful creature once, but he's not beautiful anymore. And the makeup, it's a long process. It takes me 3.5 hours to get into makeup. To transform this pretty face into a monster, essentially. We also cover my teeth, and we sort of cover that up. White, and lots of blood. Lots of blood.
And how long did it take you to get out of the makeup after every show?
Actually a lot less time. I have to rip off the wing scars, which hurts because I use medical grade adhesive, which is fun. So you can actually still see, I still have marks on my back.
Yeah.
And I take a shower, and that washes off most of it. But they're still, the blue tends to stay. I've got the blue markings that we have put on me, and some of the blood stains tend to stay. So I'm still a little makeup, but I'm mostly human again.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's dedication.
It's intense. It's very intense.
Well, it must help get into character, though.
It really does. As soon as I'm in makeup, I don't need to find Lucifer. He just appears. Because having the scars on my back makes me very aware of my shoulders, and I can imagine what it would be like to have wings, to have something coming out of there. And because it's so uncomfortable, and Lucifer is just such an uncomfortable character, he is not happy. And I'm typically, after 3.5 hours of being in makeup, I get a tiny sense of what it is like to be tortured in hell.
I can imagine. Having
a blow dryer blown directly into my mouth. We put liquid latex over my lips to dry it with a hairdryer. It's fun.
That is intense.
It's fun.
So where and when can people see the show?
The show is at the Avant-Garde Bar, which is at 135 and a half Bessereau Street. Remember the half. Don't know why it's important. And our next show is at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. And then Thursday at 6 p.m. and then Friday and Saturday at 6:30 p.m.
Excellent. And for locals who miss it at Avant-Garde and are still going to be in town in August, more show coming up?
There is another show coming up. We are part of the One Night Only series at the Gladstone Theatre, and our night is August 8th. So come check us out at 7:30, August 8th at the Gladstone.
Perfect. All right, so here we are on day 4 of Fringe. What have you seen and loved so far?
So far, I have only had the opportunity to see one show. I have been so busy with my own. But I just came out of Chesterfield, and I laughed through the whole thing. That was a brilliant script. Very, very funny. I believe Patrice Forbes wrote it.
I believe that's correct.
So. Props to Patrice. It was such a funny script, and very well acted. That was a very scary couch. That was a great character, the couch.
It really was.
Yeah. I enjoyed that a lot. But I'm going to see more shows. These are my 3 days off, so I'm going to see all the shows I can.
All right, so what's at the top of your list? What are you looking most forward to?
I want to see the Bureau of Batshit Crazy. Definitely is on my list.
Good choice.
I'm very much looking forward to that. Die Zombie Die. I want to make sure I see all my fellow OTS alumni. So I want to see the Day We Grew Wings, The Tragical History of Nick Wade, Emissions if I have time. And I also would like to see The Frenzy of Queen Maeve, as I just heard quite a bit about it. It sounds really good.
It does. It sounds interesting. I'm still hopefully going to see that one in the next day or two.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. All right. So I usually close these off with a random question.
Excellent.
And I'm going to give you a twist on a question that's kind of cliche.
Cool.
The cliche question is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? I'm going to ask you, if you could grant one superpower, what would it be and to who?
Oh my god. You are a minx. Your tricky questions. Do a superpower. I would grant the power of self-awareness to our politicians.
Nice answer.
So that they would know just how big of it they actually are. And I didn't swear.
Excellent.
So that's my political answer. Not always political, but today I am.
It's a good answer in Ottawa.
Thank you. I thought it fit.